you know, typical shit around here.
The KEEL Morning Show with
Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Down yonder, Erin's got local news, and she's getting ready.
What's caused Cyport's problems? We'll take a look at that. And the cat's out of the bag. The Miss USA pageant is coming to town. We'll talk about that, too. And a local politician's in some hot water.
You know, of all the things we talk about that Shreveport needs, we need to market ourselves. We need to show people how awesome a place we can be. Has there been a better opportunity in the last decade than Miss USA?
Plus, you're right.
I know. Usually I am. Now, just hold your idea.
I've got 3 words I can tell you about.
Hold them for now.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to explain this to the less.
Yeah, and we're going to probably drag it out
to the less gifted.
You're going to be happy.
I'll bet. Plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What caused Cyport's problems? The chairman speaks out. More on that from Matt Parker.
Cyport's board chairman, Rich Lamb, spoke to the Caddo Commission Monday about the problems the Learning Center faced and how they plan to fix things moving forward. Lamb told the commission that one of the major problems that led to the temporary shutdown was a huge payroll, which Lamb said was in excess of $2 million. Lamb says reopening the center one piece at a time will help prevent the center from getting overextended and give them time to find a responsible way to repay creditors. In the first 8 days after partially reopening, Cyport saw over 1,000 visitors. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport-Bossier will play host to both this year's Miss USA and Miss Teen USA pageants, with Miss USA confirmed for May 21st. It'll be the first time both pageants has ever been held at location back-to-back. And Miss USA will air live on Fox at the Hirsch. Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford says the city is perfect for Miss USA.
This is exactly the family-friendly economic development venue that we encourage and we entice for the Shreveport-Bossier region.
Organizers and participants will be in town 11 days leading up to the 2-hour special on Fox, May 21st. Caddo School Superintendent Dr. Lamar Gorey spoke to the Shreveport chapter of the NAACP. During the meeting, he gave a presentation, and citizens were allowed to ask questions and give suggestions on how to improve performance at our schools. Dr. Gorey says he likes going to public forums because he wants Caddo schools to be open, transparent, and have a good relationship with the public. James Taylor III pleads guilty to killing James Carroll back in 2016. Taylor admitted to shooting Carroll at a Vivian apartment complex after a fight. Taylor pled a second-degree murder charge down to manslaughter. For his crime, Taylor will spend the next 35 years in prison. Drive sober or get pulled over. That's the message from the Shreveport Police Department. SPD planning to conduct a safety checkpoint Saturday night in East Shreveport from 10 p.m. until the wee hours of Sunday morning. Police say they'll be looking for impaired drivers and anyone else who may harm the safety of others on the roads. Rick Avery is in some hot water again. This time, Avery's accused of sexually abusing a woman in D.C. during the Washington Mardi Gras event last month. The Shreveport woman claims that during an argument, Avery pushed her to the floor, sexually assaulted her, and stole her jewelry. The woman contacted police in D.C., but the event was, quote, never papered. She's been granted a protective order against the Bossier Police jury member by a Caddo District Court. A Senate committee hears a constitutional amendment today from New Orleans Democrat J.P. Morrell that will require a jury's verdict in a felony trial to be unanimous for conviction. Louisiana and Oregon are the only states that allows for 10 out of 12 jurors to agree on a guilty verdict. Loyola University law professor Dane Ciolino says the nation's highest court has heard numerous challenges to Louisiana's majority rule standard.
The Supreme Court of the United States has allowed non-unanimous juries and has not found them to be in violation of defendants' Sixth Amendment rights to trial by jury.
Ciolino expects the Louisiana District Association to argue against this proposed amendment. Today marks the start of spring in Louisiana. Our winter produced 2 snow events and a warmer than usual February. State climatologist Barry Kime says the La Nina effect will dictate our weather the next few months as it pushes all the rain and colder temperatures to the north.
The Climate Prediction Center is calling for the warmth to continue across Louisiana with above normal temperatures through April, May, and June, with a slight possibility of drier than normal conditions across the state.
Kime says spring can bring severe weather in the form of tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. He says the clashing of the seasons can be expected once again. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for Tuesday morning traffic. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 north near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. Breezy and not as warm with a high of 67. Clear with a low of 43 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a download, and it is free. A free download. Everybody just want to stop and take a breath?
I'm telling you. I have 3 words for you. Are you ready?
Hold on just a second.
I got 3 words, too.
Brilliant.
Is the first one KISS?
Yeah. How'd you know?
KEEL app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So like 30 seconds, no. 5 seconds, no. Like a second and a half before we're supposed to start, Erin says, I want to change something this morning. And I said, okay. It's believe me, when you get to that last 2 or 3 seconds, time goes real slow.
It's a little experiment today.
What is the purpose before you explain the experiment?
What
is the
my
purpose?
Near demise.
What is the purpose of the experiment?
My near demise. I want to see if we can get more people to watch what we're doing on Facebook Live.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm doing that, and it's not for whatever, it's
Guys,
because of what happened this morning.
You got a new outfit.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
I'll give you 3 words.
Your new slender self.
I'll give you 3 words. Are you ready?
What's that?
I'm going to have to lean back because I want to do it right.
No, I don't want you to yell.
I'm not going to yell.
I'm not up for yelling.
You ready?
Allergies starting to kick in.
Down goes Frazier.
You had a fight with George Foreman?
No.
You bought a George Foreman grill.
We are simply lucky.
You named your kid's name George.
No, we are simply...
All of them.
My father's middle name was George.
Yeah?
But we are really lucky.
This is George McCarty and my son, George McCarty.
That I am not in the hospital today.
Why? What happened?
Well, I want to recreate it, and I want people to watch. So can we do it in the next segment? Because I've got to gird my loins.
I beg your pardon?
I have to gird.
It was a near loin injury?
It could have been a loin injury.
It was a loinal mishap.
Why do tragedies take forever to happen? Matt, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, I was just going to say, I know what it is because I had to be prepped, and I'm not for any of this.
But the visual is
the visual's
exceptional.
horrible.
Well, it doesn't look good for me. It's horrible for me.
Are you going to fall over, tip over, spill something on yourself?
I'm not going to do the full recreation, if that's what you're asking for.
You're fully recreating it, and I am not calling 911 no matter what happens.
Somebody needs to call 911. Can we get EMS guys on standby?
Do I need goggles?
No, you don't. There will be no fluid spillage. Well, I'll have to move my coffin.
Well, intentional.
Yeah.
But
if there had been a video camera rolling on what happened to me this morning, this would be the viral video of the day.
We'll talk about it. You can recreate it just after your 6:30 newscast in that shorter segment.
That'll work. We have a couple of guests today. Let me let you know. Stacy Brown from the Convention Bureau is coming in. She's going to talk about the Miss USA, Miss Teen USA.
What do you know about all this happening? Who put all this together? How did this?
They've been working on it a while.
I understand that.
Brian Crawford was one of the lead dogs in it. I think Stacy was one of the lead dogs. It's exciting. It's a big deal.
What did Brian Crawford as city CAO have to do?
Well, they have to help facilitate using the hearse, getting the people in and out of town, and doing the events that they have to hold. They hold events all over town.
Who is going to be, as this May event nears, for a primetime network television show 2 hours from Shreveport, who is going to be the one person who will oversee it all?
I don't know. We'll ask Stacy when she gets here. She'll be here just after 7.
Who is going to be that person that will be making those decisions? If you've got ideas A, B, and C, is it somebody here? Is it somebody at Fox?
There's probably a combo.
I bet there's not.
I bet it's the Fox people.
I got a feeling.
Yeah, it might be, but you know what?
That's not bad.
No. But, I mean, we've done this before. We've had these folks.
Yeah, around the turn of the century.
This is huge.
It is.
Huge.
Look, we sit in here and have sat in here for a number of days. And look, you told the story yesterday about the Uber driver that you get back from the airport or wherever it was. And you're talking to the Uber driver in Shreveport. We say all the time,
he was a Lyft driver.
Shreveport needs jobs. What better way to market your city? Think of all the corporations, the businesses, the ad agencies, the industry that is associated, that attach their names to the Miss USA and the Miss Teen USA pageant, that for X number of days, not only the day of the show, not only for rehearsals, but will in fact be exposed to our community for the next 60 days or so.
You have to hear Matt because his head's going to explode on this.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about, we talked about, my anger levels and tops was the number one thing.
The Scoville units
of
your psyche.
This may be, even worse than tops. I was ready to punch some people in the face yesterday.
He was ready to punch
But, well,
women.
hold on. We all in this room agree that Miss USA coming to town is awesome, right?
Awesome.
Okay, well, apparently a lot of people in town don't feel that way. Everything I saw after 2 o'clock yesterday was negative. Oh, our crime's terrible. Why would they do it at the Hirsch? People get shot there. I mean, if you think of a way to ruin an amazing event, people were taking a dump on it, and it drives me nuts.
You hear his head exploding?
These people, you hear, oh, nothing ever happens here. Shreveport sucks. We never get any business. We should just burn the damn city to the ground.
And
yet we get something, and they just dump on it, and well, we don't need this. You jackass. We finally get something that's worthwhile. We got people from a national network in town, hundreds and hundreds of people staying in our hotels, eating our restaurants, and yet, oh, God, this sucks. You know what? Screw you.
Well,
if you don't like it, get the
yeah.
hell out of town, you jackass.
Just remember, just after 6:30, go watch our Facebook feed. It's live, and we're going to recreate Down Goes Frazier.
19 past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM,
Bad
710
idea, I'm
Keel.
thinking. You
You can actually look on the Facebook feed and see how many people are watching at one particular time, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so
Go watch.
We're aiming for triple figures.
If you want to see this,
or the abject embarrassment.
Oh, man.
19 past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Oldenden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU Shreveport lost their NAIA semifinal game 87-80 to Graceland of Iowa and Kansas City last night. The Pilots were seeking their first national championship in men's hoops. Kyle Blankenship's team led by 15 in the first half and 46-34 at the break before an ice-cold shooting performance in the second half doomed them. Benjamin Batt scored 29 points to pace the Pilots. Stevie Clark finished with 22, half of those coming at the free throw line. LSU's basketball season came to a crashing halt Monday with a 95-71 loss at Utah in the second round of the NIT. The Utes fired away at will from beyond the arc, knocking down 14 three-pointers while converting 52% of their shots from the field. The game was never in doubt, with Utah racing to a 21-point lead in the first quarter and a 27-point advantage in the second quarter. The closest LSU got was 15 points in the third. Freshman Tremont Waters led LSU with 19 points. Sophomore Skylar Mays had 16. The Pelicans have a big game tonight at home against the Mavs. Last week, New Orleans was challenging for the 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, but enter tonight as the 7 seed, just a half game ahead of Minnesota for the final playoff spot with 12 games to play in the regular season. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel 625.
Down goes Frazier coming up.
We'll talk about that later. Good Lord.
I could be in the hospital and you have no compassion.
Nope, none.
None.
This is such an interesting place to live.
Oh, yeah.
Because on the same day that we announce, we are blessed with the announcement that Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, two big money events, will be coming to Shreveport in the Miss USA will be here late May. We also open up the Times and we see an article by Michelle Marcotte about Cyport.
Yeah.
The closing, she wrote closure, but you know how that word annoys me.
Sure.
The closure of Cyport Discovery Center. You can help me out with this because you were, as we spoke, when we spoke about this yesterday, you were attempting to gather information. Now, I know you have
some of it's not confirmed.
You have some stuff sort of off the record.
Yeah.
And to be real blunt about it, given the nature of the off the record information,
some of it was not right, so don't name names or anything.
Given the nature of some of the off-the-record information, it may be difficult to get anybody to talk about this.
Right.
The closing of Cyport Discovery Center in September was partly due to the need to restructure the Science Museum's payroll. That, according to Rich Lamb, Cyport chairman, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, he said that to the city council yesterday, last week.
And the commission yesterday.
Lamb said the museum, Parky, get out your calculator.
Oh, God.
Lamb said the museum operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million. Now, I'm assuming that Ms. Marcotte in her article means $2 million annually.
Sure.
Okay, we do no good. This is from Lamb. We do no good employing 72 people if Cyport only needs 40, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Matt, would you do me a favor? Would you
2 million
2 million divided by 72?
Uh-huh.
He's ciphering it.
27,777.7.
Well, you probably ought to take about $1 million off of that because I'm hearing that there were some employees at Cyport that were making six-figure salaries. One person apparently was, I'm not going to name names because the names got mixed up, but one person was making $300,000. That's what my sources tell me. I'm working to confirm it. I don't know that it's completely accurate, but $300,000 for one employee.
So basically,
and this wasn't even the top enchilada.
It's sort of what?
I don't think this was even the top enchilada.
So it's basically what I said to you yesterday. If they've got an annual payroll of $2 million or exceeding $2 million, that it's probably not. It's probably not employees number 50 through 72 that are killing them.
No, it's not. It's the top heavy administrative staff that was bringing in dollars you wouldn't find at a big city kids museum. You wouldn't. If you go to the Dallas Exploratorium or whatever it is, they don't have people at that place making 300 G's.
Just to clarify,
I'd be shocked if they did.
Just to clarify for me and everyone, the Cyport was not, I would assume, not bringing in $2 million a year. I don't know.
No, they had a lot of grants. They had a lot of private donations. They had several fundraising events that were big. Their big masquerade ball thing was a big deal. Brought in a lot of money.
Yeah.
But in terms of butts in the seats, as we call it, BIS, they're not bringing in that much.
I guess my question is, at the end of every year, with everything, grants, donations, admissions, et cetera, you know, I mean, look, are these public record numbers?
I'm working on that as we speak. I'm working on getting the list of who was paid what.
And how much was there.
As soon as I get it, we're gonna talk about it and share it.
Look, obviously they were running in the red, or they would still be open.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously they were not running in the black, or they would have been updating and all these cool things.
But the problem with Cyport is, and I went to Cyport a few years ago with a friend who had a toddler, and I hadn't been in a while because my kids are grown. But some of the same stuff was there with some of the same dirt on it that my kids put there.
My point exactly.
And for a museum like that to be successful, it has to be spiffed up regularly.
Let me read this again. Rich Lamb, Cyport's chairman, told the Shreveport City Council, blah, 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 the museum operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million for many years.
That's just incredible.
Erin B. Diggin, 629, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Hey, Ruben.
Looks like everything's running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Eastburg Coons Industrial Loop near 3132. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
DA's offices in the other 48 states.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Cyport's board chairman, Rich Lamb, spoke to the Caddo Commission about the problems the Learning Center faces and how they plan to fix things moving forward. Lamb told the commission that one of the major problems that led to the temporary shutdown was a huge payroll, which Lamb says was in excess of $2 million. Lamb says that reopening the center one piece at a time will help prevent the center from getting overextended and give them time to find a responsible way to repay creditors. In the first 8 days after partially reopening, Cyport saw over 1,000 visitors. Miss USA coming to town. More on that from Matt Parker.
After months of speculation, the city of Shreveport officially announced that the Miss USA pageant will be held at Hirsch Coliseum in May. Shreveport City CAO Brian Crawford called the pageant an opportunity for family-friendly economic development. Organizers and participants will be in town 11 days leading up to the 2-hour special on Fox May 21st. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Rick Avery in trouble once again. This time, Avery's accused of sexually abusing a woman in Washington, D.C. during the big Washington Mardi Gras event last month. The Shreveport woman claims that during an argument, Avery pushed her to the floor, sexually assaulted her, and stole her jewelry. The woman contacted police in D.C., but the event was, quote, never papered, so no charges filed. She's been granted a protective order against the Bossier police jury member by a Caddo District Court judge. Avery made headlines in 2016 after fighting with police and using racial slurs during a DWI arrest. Caddo School Superintendent Dr. Lamar Gorey spoke to the Shreveport chapter of the NAACP. During the gathering, he gave a presentation and citizens asked questions and gave ideas on how to improve performance at our schools. Dr. Gorey says he likes going to public forums because he wants Caddo schools to be open, transparent, and have a good relationship with the public. A Senate committee hears a constitutional amendment today from New Orleans Democrat J.P. Morrell that will require a jury's verdict in a felony trial to be unanimous for conviction. Louisiana and Oregon, the only states that allow for 10 out of 12 jurors to agree on a guilty verdict. Loyola University law professor Dane Ciolino expects the Louisiana DA's Association to argue against this proposed amendment, but
DA's offices in the other 48 states that require unanimity don't have any problem with obtaining guilty verdicts on a regular basis. I don't see any reason for concern.
Ciolino says it's unclear why Louisiana only requires 10 out of 12 jurors for a guilty verdict. The San Antonio, Texas Fire Department says a package bomb has exploded at a FedEx distribution center in Schertz, Texas this morning, hurting one person, a FedEx employee, who apparently suffered a non-life-threatening percussion-type injury from the blast. The movie and TV studio that Harvey Weinstein co-founded has become the first high-profile company to be forced into bankruptcy protection in the nationwide outcry over workplace sexual misconduct. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The Best of Times Radio Hour. Okay, the good news is that this short segment is going to be shorter because you ran late.
If you want to watch it on Facebook, this is the time to do it.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so take your headphones off.
Here we go.
Okay, now
I
you can
keep them on.
Hold on. So explain, give us a little background here.
Here's the deal. My house is being completely remodeled, and so my bedroom is empty.
Where did you sleep last night?
Here's where I'm going. Pay attention. I got a big blow-up air mattress that's about 2 feet tall. I mean, it's a Big Daddy, okay? Put some blankets down on it. Had a blanket to sleep on. Had my little electronics, gadgets, what I needed in my room. So I slept in there. But yesterday during daylight hours, I have a ceiling fan that was going. And I wanted the ceiling fan on, but I didn't want the light on. So I stood up on the air mattress and I pulled the little string to turn the light off so I could go to sleep. You know, later in the day, I didn't need a light on during the day. Turn it off, whatever. So this morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's the only light in that wing of the house where the bathroom is and all that.
Plus, now all your stuff's in the big pods, so you got no lamp or anything, right?
Yeah, no lamp,
so
nothing
the
like
only
that.
light in your bedroom
is that overhead or my cell phone. That's
Gotcha.
what I've got.
Gotcha.
So my DA decides to get on this air mattress
and turn
at
on
4 o'clock in the morning.
and
Did
pull
I
it.
tell you the carpet is gone? It's a concrete floor
No, I had
underneath
no-
the air
no,
mattress.
no.
So here's the recreation. Are you ready?
You're going to stand on that
Yeah,
chair?
I have a stool. You know my stool that I prop my feet on.
This is not a good
Okay,
idea.
this is not a good idea.
No.
I'm not going to do the full recreation because this would be a hospital visit.
I think zero creation.
This would be a hospital visit. I don't know if the camera can see me standing up, Matt. I'm not sure. You might have to hold it. So I'm getting up onto the air mattress, okay? And imagine an air mattress on a lake, okay? I'm like this. I spread my legs out as wide as I can
didn't
get.
need to hear that.
Okay?
Okay.
To balance myself.
Yeah, sure.
Here's the problem, Robert. When you reach up to pull the string on the ceiling fan, your balance tips because you have one arm up now, so you're leaning on the air mattress, and down went Frazier. bounce off the side of the air mattress. Praise the Lord for the bounce.
Praise the Lord.
Because I could
Hallelujah.
have, because I bounced off the air mattress and I swear I could hear Daffy Duck going boing, and I fell down to the concrete.
She means yoicks in a way.
Yeah, whatever he does. I fell down to the concrete right on the elbow, but the air mattress had taken the brunt of all this voluptuousness, and so I didn't come crashing on the concrete on my elbow. I'm telling, it took 5 more tries to get that freaking light on. I'm standing on that mattress I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
So
it was. If anybody had seen this,
isn't there a light in your bathroom?
No, they're all gone. All the fixtures are gone.
You don't have really.
They've removed them all to paint.
So the only light is like pull the string on the
ceiling fan.
Ceiling fan.
Yes. That was the most frightening moment of my life.
This morning, I forget what time she called, about 5 o'clock, because she was running late.
Because I nearly died.
Shut up. I'm telling the story now. And she goes, oh, God, I almost killed myself. I almost knocked myself out cold. I was like, how unfortunate for me.
I almost knocked myself out.
Imagine if I'd fallen on the concrete floor on my noggin.
I know.
Man, I would have hurt the floor.
I know.
Have you ever stood on an air mattress on a lake? That's what it felt like. I felt like a drunk 83-year-old man. That's what I felt like.
That's the most accurate description I think I've ever heard her give herself.
That was awesome. Yeah.
But I'm alive. Thank you for caring.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, whatever.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. More on Miss USA coming to Shreveport. More on what's going. I got a couple of more questions about this Cyport story,
elbow
too.
hurts.
$2 million a year.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Traffic time right now. Here's Ruben.
Looks like everything's running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Eastburg Coons Industrial Loop near 3132. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Get no love in this dang room.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 643. Okay, once again from the Times story. And this is, young lady's name is Michelle Marcotte. The headline, Cyport's closure. Well, let me edit. Closing. It's just one of my little things. Cyport's closing was partly due to payroll issue, chairman says. So Rich Lamb, who's the Cyport chair guy, says the $2 million, in some cases, well, here it is. Lamb said the museum operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million. Do we know how much it exceeded $2 million? I mean, does that mean $2 million and $1, or does it mean $6 million?
I don't.
But the headline is, Cyport's closing was partly due to payroll issue, chairman says. Now, you got to help me out here, okay?
Yeah.
Here's from the Times article. The closing, my edit, of Cyport Discovery Center in September of last year. Partly due partly due to the need to restructure the Science Museum's payroll. Okay, so they laid off a bunch of people. Did they fire the top brass?
Yeah, Ann was fired.
Or did they? How much was she making?
I over 100,000. I'm told. That's what I'm told. Again, these are unconfirmed numbers. I have to get the full
then
data.
Let's just then not mention. Don't mention any names.
Right.
Don't mention any numbers.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just read this. The closing of Scienceport Discovery Center in September was partly due to the need to restructure the Science Museum's payroll. That, according to Rich Lamb, Sci-Port chairman. He said that he testified to the city council. Testified sounds legal. I apologize. He said at the city council, I guess, last Tuesday.
Yeah, and he was before the commission yesterday.
Lamb said the museum, here's the key sentence, at least to me. Lamb said the museum operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million for many years. We do no good, Lamb told the council. We do no good employing 72 people if Scienceport only needs 40. But what I texted you yesterday, I seriously doubt if it was employees 41 through 72.
It wasn't.
Who were killing the place.
It's the top brass, I'm told somebody was making 300 G's. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
We do no good. This is Lamb's quote again in the Times. We do no good employing 72 people. In other words, is he implying that the problem with a $2 million payroll was that they were employing 32 too many people? Because we do no good employing 72 people if we only need 40.
Right.
So, whatever am I to infer that the reason that you were in financial trouble is employees number 41 through 72? Is that what he's telling me?
That's kind of it, yeah.
Okay, so it was 41 through 72. However many, were they all full-time? Were they all making 30, 40, 50? I don't know.
I know a lot of people were part-time.
And here's my other question. Rich is in charge, right?
Yep.
Okay. Was he aware for X amount of time that he had an annual payroll exceeding $2 million? And how long did he think he could keep that up?
I don't know.
If he says the problem was the payroll, he said right here, basically, operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million. Here's what he said. We're better at fewer employees.
I know the boards that I serve on, I inquire about payroll. Some boards do not. I mean, they have a treasurer, they have a CPA. They just look at, here's our bulk employee salaries, and they don't question the individual salaries.
Right.
Maybe the board did not. I don't know. But if I'm looking at something and my name is on your board of directors list, I want to know who's getting your money. I want to know who's getting the money, what companies we're hiring, are we getting good deals, are we getting bids? And and some boards don't operate like that, and I get it, and I'm not for them. I'm not one of their guys, but because I drive them nuts. But it would be sad to me if the board knew these salaries were being paid.
Well, he certainly knew when he testified, when he talked to the city council. He knew when he talked to the Caddo Commission.
So some of my close friends have served on the Scienceport board.
Holy cow! We have a $2 million payroll. Why, there's gambling going on here.
And you have to know that you're not bringing in that much money, and you have to start trimming those salaries.
Lots of questions, and like I said before, it ain't numbers 41 through 72 that are killing you.
No, it's not.
649, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's your traffic. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 north near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine. High about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Right now, 55 degrees, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. More on Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, coming to George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. On the way right now, your money now. Good morning, 652 Sports Update. Here's Ruben.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU Shreveport lost their NAIA semifinal game 87-80 to Graceland of Iowa and Kansas City last night. The Pilots were seeking their first national championship in men's hoops. Kyle Blankenship's team led by 15 in the first half and 46-34 at the break before an ice-cold shooting performance in the second half doomed them. Benjamin Batt scored 29 points to pace the Pilots. Stevie Clark finished with 22, half of those coming at the free throw line. LSU's basketball season came to a crashing halt Monday with a 95-71 loss at Utah in the second round of the NIT. The Utes fired away at will from beyond the arc, knocking down 14 three-pointers while converting 52% of their shots from the field. The game was never in doubt, with Utah racing to a 21-point lead in the first quarter and a 27-point advantage in the second quarter. The closest LSU got was 15 points in the third. Freshman Tremont Waters led LSU with 19 points. Sophomore Skylar Mays had 16. The Pelicans have a big game tonight at home against the Mavs. Last week, New Orleans was challenging for the 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, but enter tonight as the 7 seed, just a half game ahead of Minnesota for the final playoff spot with 12 games to play in the regular season. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
that on the air?
Yeah, sure.
And do you think it's a mistake to say?
No.
Talking about Cyport, I said it's not those part-time high school girls introducing the IMAX movies that caused your financial problems.
No, it's not.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 655. Miss USA and Miss Teen USA coming to Shreveport. The Miss USA pageant.
Stacy will be in studio.
Who's that?
Stacy Brown will be in studio 7:10 this morning.
In studio? Mm-hmm. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And
there is something about this that not only, look, we say all the time, how long have we said Shreveport needs, we got. Is there a better opportunity for us over a period of starting right now and not only leading up to the events, but even in the period afterwards for us to put on our best face? This is a chance. Look at all the companies, the corporations, the important people from any number of industries and areas, moneyed people, people with influence, people with a great big checkbook who own things, who could move things here.
Oh, yeah.
That we have a chance to make an impression on. Oh, we have an opportunity over the next 60 to 75 days to take a huge first step in putting the city back together.
Yes,
656, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Rush.
Okay, quick update on a story from the other day about the Minneapolis high school kid that was assaulted by a mob because he was carrying a Trump flag. At least 8 students attacked him. On the day, students around the country cut class to demand more gun control and to smear the NRA. The few drive-by media outlets that bothered to cover the story reported that the student suffered minor injuries, but we've since learned that in addition to having his flag snatched and his camera vandalized, the victim's arm was broken in 2 places by these peace-loving, anti-gun liberal students. So far, no arrests have been made, which brings me to this. Another student in Hilliard, Ohio, has been suspended over the protest because he chose not to protest. Jacob Shoemaker, a senior at Hilliard Davidson High School, stayed in his classroom instead of joining the protest. He says he didn't want to take sides in this gun control debate. He wanted to remain apolitical. Now, while his teacher and the other students protested, Jacob did his homework. He was then suspended because students can't be left unsupervised. Well, Jacob, you got a suspension. At other American high schools, you could have had your property stolen and vandalized and your limbs broken. You need to count your blessings. Today's technology makes things easier because everything's connected. Your cell phone, your tablet, even your smart TV, all connected to one account, and they're all connected to your Wi-Fi. It only takes just one weak link for a cyber thug criminal to break in and obtain your data. And that's why the new LifeLock identity theft protection now adds the power of Norton security to your devices. Now, while LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats to your identity, the addition of Norton security helps protect up to 5 of your devices from online threats. And if there's a problem, LifeLock's agents will work to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions in all businesses. But new LifeLock with Norton gives you more protection for today's connected world. Join now, get 10% off your first year. Go online to lifelock.com and enter the promo code RUSH. That's lifelock.com. Remember, promo code RUSH.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Oldenden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
It is 7:03, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin has local news up next.
Talking about Cyport and the high payroll, a police jury member in our area is in some hot water, and big change in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I'd say that a $2 million annual payroll is pretty big. That's $40,000 a week they were shelling out to any number of folks. Explore that just a bit more. Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, Stacy Brown, she is the president of the Shreveport-Bossier Tourist Bureau. She will be sitting in that chair momentarily. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport-Bossier will play host to both this year's Miss USA and Miss Teen USA pageants, with Miss USA confirmed for May 21st. It'll be the first time both pageants have ever been held at the same location back-to-back, and Miss USA will air live on Fox. Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford says the crush of tourists will be a big boost to our region.
The economic impact is going to be significant for this event, and we'll certainly feel it here in Shreveport and Bossier. Our local businesses will all see a direct impact from this event being here.
Bossier Mayor Lo Walker fondly remembers the first time the competition rolled into town back in '98.
I've seen up close and personal what this is for the young ladies competing, but also what it is for our community. What an experience it is.
Miss USA, Miss Teen USA will stay in the area for 11 days. What caused Cyport's problems? The board chairman, Rich Lamb, spoke to the Caddo Commission Monday about the problems the complex faced and how they plan to fix things moving forward. Lamb told the commission that one of the major problems that led to the temporary shutdown was a huge payroll, which he said was in excess of $2 million. Lamb says that reopening the center one piece at a time will help prevent the center from getting overextended and give them time to find a responsible way to repay creditors. In the first 8 days after partially reopening, Cyport saw over 1,000 visitors. The Caddo superintendent meets with the NAACP. Matt Parker with that.
Caddo School Superintendent Lamar Gorey spoke to the Shreveport chapter of the NAACP Monday. During the meeting, Dr. Gorey gave a presentation, and citizens asked questions and gave suggestions on how to improve performance at Caddo schools. Dr. Gorey says he likes going to public forums because he wants Caddo schools to be open, transparent, and have a good relationship with the public. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
James Taylor III pleads guilty to killing James Carroll in 2016. Taylor admitted to shooting Carroll at a Vivian apartment complex after a fight. Taylor pled a second-degree murder charge down to manslaughter. For his crime, Taylor will spend the next 35 years in prison. Marksville Representative Robert Johnson is the new House Democratic Caucus chairman. The third-term lawmaker says his caucus has to look beyond short-term problems, including the massive budget deficit. Johnson says the key to a better Louisiana is a united House that's separated by party lines.
We've got students out there attempting to go to college, waiting on their top scholarship. We've got hospitals that need to be funded through the public-private partnership model that we created a few years ago.
Johnson says Governor Edwards' push for tax revenues in order to keep some services in place would cost the average taxpayer around $40 a year. He says that's a small price to pay. Drive sober or get pulled over. That's the message from SPD. They're conducting a safety checkpoint Saturday night in East Shreveport beginning at 10 p.m. Rick Avery in trouble once again. This time Avery's accused of sexually abusing a woman in Washington, D.C. During the big Mardi Gras event last month, the Shreveport woman claims that during an argument, Avery pushed her to the floor, sexually assaulted her, and stole her jewelry. The woman contacted police in D.C., but the event was, quote, never papered. She's been granted a protective order against the Bossier police jury member by a Caddo District Court. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Traffic time. Here's Ruben.
The intersection of Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Westgate Drive near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Scoville units. We're going to talk about Scoville units.
Heatness, okay.
Well, I mean, not pertaining to necessarily peppers.
Blowing up Matt's head?
Yeah. Is there a bug flying around my head somewhere? Do you see something flying around?
No, I don't.
101.7 FM. Huh?
It was a piece of hair.
We know that ain't it. 711, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Because of Erin's behavior, because of her moods this morning, Matt's fingers always close to the Jack Spring electric shock buster button, just in case.
But, you know, Erin, if you're about to talk about what I think you're about to talk about, Erin may need to roll herself over here to hit the button on me.
Well, you know, she ain't going to walk over, so if she's working over there, you know she's going to roll herself
I'll
over
roll.
there. Stacy Brown, president of the Shreveport Bossier Tourist Bureau, here in about 10 to 12 minutes. Talking about the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA coming back to Shreveport. Do you remember when I did the stand-in, when I did the dress rehearsal?
Yes.
What was that, in 2000?
Yes.
I don't remember who the host was, the MC was supposed
It was
to.
one of the guys with 98 Degrees.
No.
Wasn't Nick Lachey?
No.
What was he?
They were there. They were the entertainment.
Ah,
that
okay.
was where. Remember, because I stole their water bottles backstage.
Yes, you
we were
did.
still doing the morning show on 94.5, and I stole their water bottles and we gave them away on the radio.
Yeah, we did.
Now they could have been anybody's. I didn't have a certificate of authenticity, like when you buy like when you get an autographed baseball or something.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, if you've still got your Nick Lachey water bottle from 18 years ago,
right,
it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And that was when, in fact, although this was before he married, meaning Nick Lachey, before he married Jessica Simpson, before their hit reality show of 10 or 12 years ago, whatever, but that was when he first met Vanessa Manillo, his current wife.
Yes, they're still married. They've been married for a while.
They've been married for a while. He was, like I said, their nuptials, if you will, were post Jessica Simpson.
Who's going to be like the entertainment and who's going to be the host and all that?
That's why.
I want to know all that good,
But
juicy stuff.
I'm telling you, the judges that year, I remember, and if you remember back, to
it was little Vern Troyer, wasn't
it was Vern Troyer from the Austin Powers movie. Wilmer Valderrama from that 70s show
Yes.
was one of the judges. I don't remember who else, but the point being, whoever the big name host was, and it was sort of the 2000 version of Ryan Seacrest. It wasn't Ryan Seacrest wasn't big yet, but
Right.
it was the turn of the
Somebody
century.
like that.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to be here until show day.
Right.
And so they wanted to do a dress rehearsal, walkthrough, etc. And in much the same way, remember when Kevin Costner did the rap on his last movie? And he did the free concert
Yes.
at Municipal Auditorium, and it was open to everybody, and like 3,000 people showed up. They basically, for the walkthrough, for the rehearsal, for the dress rehearsal, with 98 degrees and everybody, they opened the doors. And I emceed. I stood in for guy whose name I've forgotten
Right.
for the dress rehearsal in front of about 3,500 people at Hirsch.
Too cool.
It was Look, I've said this before about any number of things, but when it comes to show business, when it comes to, I know a whole bunch of Mudbugs folks went to Nashville to hang out with the NHL Predators game staff a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And they got back and they were like, I said, how was your trip? They said it was amazing. I say this about, I said, there's a reason they call it the big leagues. There's a reason it's called Major League.
You bet.
But the one thing I remember, and this is how I'll tie that together, the one thing I remember about that, because it was on CBS, and I'm dealing with CBS TV people, network people, the whole week leading up to that. I mean, I was scared as hell. They wanted me to go. I went out and did a 10-minute warm-up for these people. You can take care of that, right? Yeah.
Sure again, yeah.
And it was awesome. I killed it. I got to tell you, it's one of the best things I've ever done. But the point is this. I am constantly fascinated, constantly amazed at industries, be it network television or movies or the National Hockey League, any major league sport. I'm constantly fascinated by any industry because it's so foreign to us, where cost is never an object.
Get me what I need.
Cost is never an object.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Love that.
What does that cost? Well, when James Burton was here, and he was talking about when they did the Viva Las Vegas sort of reunion with Anne Margaret and all those people, and he wasn't scheduled for it. And Anne Margaret says, I want James Burton,
Right.
because he was playing with Elvis at the time, et cetera, et cetera.
Get me James Burton.
And they went, and she says, get James Burton or I'm not in. Well, wait
Yeah.
a second. You were the female lead with Elvis. We got to have you. Well, then you know what you got to do.
Right. That's kind of like how government works.
Unfortunately, yes. But imagine working in a business like network TV or Major League Sports.
Just do it.
Or Cyport, where cost is never an object.
Oh, wait a minute.
We'll talk about that more later.
Stacy is joining us next.
Stacy Brown, President, Shreveport-Bossier Tourist Bureau. What's your first question?
Ooh, how did it come about?
How long has this been?
After 20 years.
Let me tell you, and I will wrap it up with this. When the night of the show, I believe it was a Saturday, and they did the dress on Friday, the dress rehearsal on Friday. That was where I was the MC. and I had second row tickets for the actual broadcast, for the live
Nice.
broadcast. And I came in and sat down, and you walked through sort of a tunnel and some curtains. And let me tell you, the way they had it set up, in a million years, you would have never, ever, ever guessed that was Hirsch Coliseum.
Oh, you're right.
I mean,
you're so right.
wait till you see that joint on TV.
Mhm.
It will look like Madison Square Garden
It cleans up like me going to a wedding.
by the time they're done. 18 past 7 o'clock, 1017, 2, 3, 4. 18 past 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather updates and sports on the way. Nineteen past 7 o'clock, time for traffic on Keel.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near West Burtcoon's Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
20 past 7 o'clock, it is time for Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU Shreveport lost their NAIA semifinal game 87-80 to Graceland of Iowa and Kansas City last night. The Pilots were seeking their first national championship in men's hoops. Kyle Blankenship's team led by 15 in the first half and 46-34 at the break before an ice-cold shooting performance in the second half doomed them. Benjamin Batt scored 29 points to pace the Pilots. Stevie Clark finished with 22, half of those coming at the free throw line. LSU's basketball season came to a crashing halt Monday with a 95-71 loss at Utah in the second round of the NIT. The Utes fired away at will from beyond the arc, knocking down 14 three-pointers while converting 52% of their shots from the field. The game was never in doubt, with Utah racing to a 21-point lead in the first quarter and a 27-point advantage in the second quarter. The closest LSU got was 15 points in the third. Freshman Tremont Waters led LSU with 19 points. Sophomore Skylar Mays had 16. The Pelicans have a big game tonight at home against the Mavs. Last week, New Orleans was challenging for the 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, but enter tonight as the 7 seed, just a half game ahead of Minnesota for the final playoff spot with 12 games to play in the regular season. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
22 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Stacy Brown is the president. The president. Sounded pretty good. Of the Shreveport Bossier Tourist Bureau. A, thank you for joining us. B, what the heck? How did this happen? How long has this been in the works? Miss USA, Miss Teen USA. What an opportunity. I haven't even asked a question yet.
I know. Isn't it exciting?
It's better than exciting. Look, I will just repeat what I said last hour, and I don't want to take up, you can stay as long as you want. I said we talk about Shreveport's problems all the time, what we need, what we don't have, not only us, but everybody. This is such an opportunity to showcase, to billboard, to present ourselves to lots, not just Fox TV, not just, good Lord, a worldwide television audience, but lots and lots of really important corporate sponsors and connections and people who can, if we make a good impression, who can help this town.
Absolutely. You know, this is a great opportunity to showcase what a great place this is to live, to work, and do business.
Give us
so
a little
this
history.
is an economic development.
How did it come about, Stacey?
Yeah.
You know, they were really looking at staying in Las Vegas, where they've been the last couple of years, and said, you know what, we'd really love to go back to our roots and see something different. And so they were kind of brainstorming on where to go. And
they contacted us first?
Yes, they contacted
So
us
they
and
is
said,
the
would you
Miss-
be interested?
They is the Miss USA people.
The Miss Universe is the parent company.
Right.
And the current president of the Miss Universe organization started with them back in I believe it was 99 or 2000, when it was here. And that was her first pageant as a vice president of the organization. And she is now the president. And said, you know what? I know some people still. Let's go back to Shreveport Bossier. We had such a wonderful time there. And it went so well that they were excited about coming back.
What were some of their things they needed? I mean, a lot of people are griping about Hirsch, but they were fine with it being at Hirsch, and we're fine again now, right?
You know, we looked at a variety of opportunities. Of course, timing is part of it. When you've got a short timeline, things are already booked in a number of the venues. So we looked at different opportunities, looked at what fit, and they said, you know what, let's go back to Hirsch. The Mudbugs organization, Encompass Sports, they were very open to it and said, let's take a look at it and really showcase the Hirsch. And so it will be at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum.
How involved were they, Tommy Scott, Scott Muscat, et cetera, in helping you guys put the deal together?
Scott Muscat was right there every step of the way, really showing them every inch of the Hirsch and its capabilities.
He needs to be a little more dynamic, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I don't know. It's we need to package him.
Boy, no kidding.
So these folks will be arriving. They're going to be here for a week and a half and pumping huge amounts of money. Can you put a dollar figure on it?
You know what? We can, because back when they were here in Baton Rouge in 2015, they applied for the performing arts tax credits with the state of Louisiana. So they have to prove their in-state spend. So they spent almost $4.3 million in the state of Louisiana, which obviously at that time would have been around Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. And that was just for Miss USA. So this time they're coming for both Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. So we can expect that spend to be probably $4.5 to $5 million directly from the pageant.
I mean, there's going to be literally, well, I mean, you've got 50 young ladies or 51. You've got their entourages, so to speak. You've got, I mean, there's going to be, I would say, 200, 300, 400 people.
So don't forget, it's 51 per pageant.
Yeah,
so it's 102 contestants.
All their families and their glam squads and all that stuff.
Glam squads is good. How do I hook up with a glam squad?
Let me get into some nuts and bolts if you can. Who are we going to have, like, entertainment-wise, host-wise? What can you leak out yet?
Well, so far, we do know Vanessa and Nick Lachey. You know, this is really the 20th anniversary of its first appearance here in Shreveport, Bossier. It was here in 1997, the first Miss USA, the second in 1998. In 1998, we hosted both the Miss USA and Miss Teen, but they were at separate times. And that is when Vanessa Manillo won and when Nick Lachey was here.
Yes,
with
when they
98
met.
degrees.
Now they went their separate ways for a while and saw one or two other people. But that literally was, they've been married, what, 7, 8, maybe 10 years now.
It's been quite a while. So they're excited about the opportunity to come back where it kind of all started.
But there's also, at the time, when around 2000, when Nick Lachey, Drew Lachey, when 98 Degrees was one of the biggest top 40 acts there was. Who of that ilk might be? Are you allowed to tell us?
We can't go into that yet.
Sure you can.
No, we can't.
Matt, get the whiskey.
But you know, and we talk about 98 Degrees. So they were here in 98, and in 98 they really weren't known yet. Mm-hmm. So this helped launch their career. So they came back in 99 really to say thank you for launching their career. So just think of all the opportunities we have here.
Any idea of the host, the judges? I mean, it just, come on.
We're going to have some more announcements. But, you know, think about the history when we had the announcement yesterday. Mm-hmm. One of the young ladies that was there was Miss Louisiana, who is here locally.
Sure.
And,
Lauren, you mean, yeah.
Lauren Visa. And so Lauren said, you know what? I was in the audience with my mother when it was here before. And several of the people there said, you could be in this pageant in the future. Mm-hmm. And look where we are. She's going to come right here in our own home ground.
I told Erin that very same thing on that very same night, just to give you a sense of perspective. Can you hang on a couple of seconds? We have lots more questions. We've got a news break and stuff, but if you could hang out, because I just want to talk more about what an incredible opportunity this is for an area that, bluntly put, needs a shot. 29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Just ahead of local news, here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near West Coons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine. High about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Sci-Port's board chairman Rich Lamb spoke to the Caddo Commission about the problems the Learning Center faces and how they plan to fix things moving forward. Lamb told the commission that one of the major problems that led to the temporary shutdown was a huge payroll, which Lamb says was in excess of $2 million. Lamb says that reopening the center one piece at a time will help prevent the center from getting overextended and give them time to find a responsible way to repay creditors. In the first 8 days after partially reopening, Cyport saw over 1,000 visitors. Miss USA coming to town. More on that from Matt Parker.
After months of speculation, the city of Shreveport officially announced that the Miss USA pageant will be held at Hirsch Coliseum in May. Shreveport City CAO Brian Crawford called the pageant an opportunity for family-friendly economic development. Organizers and participants will be in town 11 days leading up to the 2-hour special on Fox May 21st. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Rick Avery in trouble once again. This time, Avery's accused of sexually abusing a woman in Washington, D.C. during the big Washington Mardi Gras event last month. The Shreveport woman claims that during an argument, Avery pushed her to the floor, sexually assaulted her, and stole her jewelry. The woman contacted police in D.C., but the event was, quote, never papered, so no charges filed. She's been granted a protective order against the Bossier police jury member by a Caddo District Court judge. Avery made headlines in 2016 after fighting with police and using racial slurs during a DWI arrest. Caddo School Superintendent Dr. Lamar Gorey spoke to the Shreveport chapter of the NAACP. During the gathering, he gave a presentation and citizens asked questions and gave ideas on how to improve performance at our schools. Dr. Gorey says he likes going to public forums because he wants Caddo schools to be open, transparent, and have a good relationship with the public. A Senate committee hears a constitutional amendment today from New Orleans Democrat J.P. Morrell that will require a jury's verdict in a felony trial to be unanimous for conviction. Louisiana and Oregon, the only states that allow for 10 out of 12 jurors to agree on a guilty verdict. Loyola University law professor Dane Ciolino expects the Louisiana DA's Association to argue against this proposed amendment, but
DA's offices in the other 48 states that require unanimity don't have any problem with obtaining guilty verdicts on a regular basis. I don't see any reason for concern.
Ciolino says it's unclear why Louisiana only requires 10 out of 12 jurors for a guilty verdict. The San Antonio, Texas Fire Department says a package bomb has exploded at a FedEx distribution center in Schertz, Texas this morning, hurting one person, a FedEx employee, who apparently suffered a non-life-threatening percussion-type injury from the blast. The movie and TV studio that Harvey Weinstein co-founded has become the first high-profile company to be forced into bankruptcy protection in the nationwide outcry over workplace sexual misconduct. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Another quick segment with Stacy Brown, President, Shreveport Bossier Tourist Bureau, talking about Miss USA, Miss Teen USA.
You're putting together the schedule. You're the go-to person. You're putting together kind of the things they're going to do. You're going to take them to and show them. What's on your list? What are you hoping that you can get them out to?
You know, we want to showcase our community as not only a great, fun place to visit, but also a great place to do business. So one of the things we hope to do is showcase some of the business opportunities, things like the port, getting them out and about the community, showcase what a great quality of life we have here, and really let people outside of our area see the Shreveport-Bossier that we know and love.
Zip lining over the alligators, the Rose Center, some other silly things are going to be on the list too?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things we've talked about is having a brief parade downtown and getting the girls on the floats, bringing all the crews in, getting them all involved, and having that Mardi Gras experience for them.
Oh, that's going to be absolutely incredible. Chances of this reoccurring? I mean, we did it 2 years in a row, right, back in the 90s. Chances of I guess it depends on how it goes, right?
It is a
But
possibility.
this is a one-year deal?
At this point.
Okay.
Now, we had talked a couple of seconds earlier in the hour. We had sort of alluded to the corporate people, the moneyed folks who are associated with this, and what an opportunity it is for us to showcase ourselves to a lot of people that otherwise, bluntly put, couldn't give a lick about Shreveport and or Bossier City. What a chance this is for us to bring in a lot of new folks and impress them and get them to come back and invest in us, yes?
Absolutely. There will be a number of people that will be coming into town working on the production, a number of people coming into town just to watch the production.
Well, just the corporate sponsors alone, the people, the big companies that are buying advertising that you want to suck up to, as if you're Miss USA or Miss Teen USA. I don't mean that in a bad way. Somebody who spends $100,000 a year on this show comes in, we're going to be nice to them.
Absolutely. And, you know, our people here are wonderful. We have such nice people, and it shows in the way we treat people. So this is a tremendous opportunity for us to host, as you say, these big corporate sponsors and others who will be interested in bringing business back.
One last thing, and this people are probably thinking about it already. If I want to go see this, I want to be in the audience, I want to be in Hirsch and see it all happen. When and where and how do I get tickets? And how much will it be?
We don't have ticket prices yet. There will be 5 ticketed events, so there'll be a number of opportunities. So for teen, there'll be a preliminary and the finals competition. Then for Miss USA, there will be the preliminary, the dress rehearsal, and the finals competition. We have set up a page on the Shreveport-Bossier Convention and Tourist Bureau website. So it's shreveport-bossier.org/Miss USA. So if you're interested in volunteering, there's a place to go put your name in there, or if you're interested in getting your business involved and sponsoring in some way, you can also put your name in there. As the ticket information becomes available, then we'll be showcasing that information.
Hi,
as well.
I'm Bob. I'm your usher. May I show you to your seat?
Matt wants to be one of the drivers. He would like to volunteer to be one of the drivers for one of the ladies.
He is a sacrificer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. Yeah,
Miss Stacy, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Stacy Brown, President, Shreveport-Bossier Tourist Bureau. Always welcome. I know you'll keep Erin updated.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, because she'll give her number to anybody. 739, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's here.
Still keeping an eye right now on a major accident backing up traffic on Mansfield Road northbound near the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. And we're looking at some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 740. What?
Dr. Lamar Gorey is going to join us in about 7 minutes. We're going to talk about school improvements and some questions he got.
You had the news story that he had spoken, I guess, to the local NAACP. Thompson, what's his first name? I forget the NAACP guy.
Lloyd.
Lloyd Thompson. And,
how could we forget?
And
I didn't.
That was an awesome day.
Yeah, it was.
And in the story, you had said that the superintendent, meaning Mr. Gorey, Dr. Gorey, had fielded questions and gave some. And I just said, well, call Dr. Lamar and let's find out what the questions were and what he asked.
And LG's willing to join us.
So, LG. Oh, I got it now. Okay, I was thinking cell phones. In your absence, there was I'm going to say a lot of development, behind the scenes stuff going on with the legislative session, and it would appear just in the nick of time. What?
Yeah, because I'm hearing that the Ways and Means chairman's been changed, and they're maybe booting some people off the committee.
Well,
I know the Democratic caucus leader's been changed. Gene Reynolds of Minden had been the long-term leader.
Why do you think that is?
What are they doing?
Why do you think that is? Because they couldn't get enough stuff through. The powers, the governor and the governor's buddies, they're going to, look, they couldn't get anything they wanted done.
Yeah.
They couldn't get higher taxes. They couldn't get increased fees. They couldn't get revenue enhancement. So in whatever power positions they control, that failed them for whatever reason. It's time to get some other kind of bully in there to try to push through what they want.
Right.
The good news is that Dodie Horton from Houghton and Alan Seabaugh from Shreveport are still both on that Ways and Means Committee. And in fact, was it the Republican? Look and see. They released a video last evening, and it was late I made a big mistake yesterday. Don't go running at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, bad plan.
Because, what happens is you get an energy boost, and it's 10:30 or 10:45 last night, and I'm like wide awake.
Oh, no.
Let's do stuff.
Raring to go.
No, it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't care. Let's do stuff. Let's go run again. Bad idea.
Bad.
So I was just kind of skimming late evening news, and I saw on what may have been Hayride, I don't remember, that and I want to say the Louisiana Republican caucus had made a video. See if you can find that real quick and give me details. The Louisiana Republican caucus has released a video saying, we will stand against increased taxes. We do not believe the governor when he says there's a billion or near $1 billion budget shortfall. We're not buying any of that. We will do our best to fix this fiscal shortfall. Not $1 billion shortfall, but whatever it happens to be. I guess the latest number, according to Mr. Seabaugh and Ms. Horton, is in the $400,000 range.
Yep.
Was I right? Was it the Louisiana Republican caucus?
Yeah, you cannot spend your way out of debt. They said the fiscal cliff is not $1 billion. It's just not, and that's a fact. They've got a lot of. I'm trying to post this video up.
They are vowing to continue to be, as I so admirably praised Representatives Horton and Seabaugh, the duo, the dynamic duo of no more. Look, I always ask this, and you just come out of your chair. And in fact, I will repeat what Mr. Wagasback said to me last week. The business owners of Louisiana, this is Stephen Wagasback, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, an awesome line.
Sure.
The business owners of Louisiana, large and small, are tired of being told that the reason we have money problems in Louisiana is because they, meaning the small businesses, are not giving enough of their hard-earned dollars to the state.
Right.
748, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Dr. Lamar Gorey, Caddo Parish School Superintendent, just a couple of minutes away. Traffic and weather updates on the way here on Keel. 749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Still looking at that major accident on Mansfield Road northbound near the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Spur in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. Breezy and not as warm with a high of 67. Clear with a low of 43 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
KEEL's Top Cop. It's our salute to area law enforcement officers who go above and beyond the call of duty. We want you to send us stories of officers who deserve an extra pat on the back. Maybe an officer changed your tire or spent extra time talking to your youngster. We even want to know about officers who do good deeds while off duty. Let us share these great stories, but we need to know about them. If you want to say thanks to a police officer, deputy, or state trooper, log on to KEELnews.com and click on the Top Cop link. Download the KEEL app on your phone and click on Submit Photo or Video. Then tell us your story. We say thanks with KEEL's Top Cop, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ha. That was ha. 751, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
Hi, LG.
Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Dr. Lamar Gorey, Caddo Parish School Superintendent, here for a little bit. Hey, Doc, how you doing this morning? Thanks for joining us.
Hey there, I'm doing very well. How are you?
So you had a meeting last night. You went to the local NAACP get-together, the confab, and Erin had in a news story that Dr. Gorey was asked questions pertaining to education, and he responded. And my question was, well, what kind of questions did they ask, and what kind of questions did you answer? What did you say? How did it go?
Well, I'll tell you, this was kind of ended what I call a winter tour that we generally do every year, where we go around to different groups and present a state of the district, present facts about the district, provide some of our challenges, and, of course, give community opportunity to ask questions about how we are performing and things that they have questions about in the district. And you had several questions around curriculum, around opportunities to be a better support. So it was really a wonderful opportunity just to meet with the community and to really talk about the things that are going on great in the district, to present some of our challenges, and to really just have a wonderful conversation around what we're doing with public education. Also, we're really excited that our 14 Amazing Shake finalists were a part of the audience. And, you know, we talk about the Amazing Shake being an opportunity to teach students those tiebreaker skills, and we do feel that those adult-type conversations around issues like education and advancement of African Americans through the NAACP work are definitely relevant topics for our students.
So what kind of questions did they ask? Questions open forum, hands are raised. What?
Oh, it was, I don't remember specific questions that they asked, but everything was pretty much centered around education, around curriculums, about opportunities and things that we'll do to improve education in Shreveport. Really gave me a great platform, too, to present some facts around the new accountability standards and the way that the test will be graded. As you know, the way we're grading the test has changed. And regardless, you can write the same answer last year and you'll get a different score this year. So really need to take advantage of every opportunity to get that information out to the community, that the way the same test is graded is different, and that the results, as predicted by the state themselves, will produce 58% more F schools and fewer A schools in our state.
That is a big concern. I know the concern in the community, too, because I was on one of your first stops on this tour when you had us in for lunch. Another big concern is, are there going to be other schools in the inner city, like we did with the Fair Park BTW, that are on your list for, we might have to make a change soon? Did that come up? Did
not come up at all, but I can tell you
something you're looking at?
From a strategic planning perspective, there are no consolidations in the plan at this point. There are none that staff has recommended. So I don't really feel we'll have that conversation soon. I think that we're just taking this time, as we stress in the presentation, to continue to strategically analyze where we are with demographics, because one thing we talked about too, we're not a growing city, and when you're a declining population, you do have to make difficult decisions. So we do feel we're at a point now where we're successful and we're at a good point as far as where we're operating. But, I can't say that won't come up in the future, but there are certainly no plans now.
With the tax base continuing to decline, you mentioned it, are there any plans, you've tried it hasn't worked, any plans at this point to go back to the voters for some sort of millage or an increase for education?
Well, and Erin, technically it did work 3 of the 4 times that we've tried. We've renewed 3 millages. There's only been 1 millage renewal that was not successful. But I will tell you there is no plans to go back for any type of new tax or anything at this time.
How do you deal with it then? How do you deal with the loss of tax base in our community when you're trying to keep our schools
the same
competitive?
thing we did when we gave a 5% pay raise with no new money. You have to be extremely strategic in how you spend your money. One thing that I've stressed, it's all about academic achievement, but you have to do that in a fiscal responsible environment. And I do believe if you focus on the achievement of children and make decisions based on that, we survive, and that's the way we win as a system.
Can I throw you a curveball? You got a bat?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I haven't heard you talk about teachers in the classroom with guns. How do you feel about that? What is your opinion?
Or on school security.
That's not a curveball. That's a softball.
Okay, good.
Improved security as a
Erin.
whole. What are your thoughts?
So, we fully support. No, that's a softball. We fully support, increasing security on our campus, even if that's, armed security on our campus if that's what's necessary. But we do not support arming teachers. There's been an overwhelming outpour from my teachers around this conversation that they don't want to be trained to carry guns, but they want to be trained to deliver instruction. So that's what we support. Now, we're more than happy to work with any law enforcement on ways that we can increase the presence of officers and armed officers on our campuses. We would love to have that conversation. There's a huge cost to that, and we're certainly willing to do that.
Real quick, what could what happened in Florida have happened here at Byrd or BTW or Shreve?
It could happen at your radio station today, Erin. It can happen anywhere in the world. It can happen at Walmart. It can happen anywhere. But one thing I can tell you is that we are diligently working every day to create the most safe environments we can for children. So proud of Roy Murray and his team and the efforts that they make to ensure that we are safe. And again, I promise you it's a constant conversation.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Okay, Erin and Robert, you have a great day, okay?
7:57, here's Hannity on KEEL.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
It's been over a year since the 2016 presidential election, and Hillary Clinton cannot get over this landslide loss. So she's in India last week, the former Secretary of State, attempting yet again to cast blame and explain why women didn't vote for her during the election. Well, we don't do well with married white women, and a part of that is pressure to vote the way your husband, your boss, your son, whoever believes you should. So over the weekend, she tried to backtrack on a lengthy Facebook post, writing, "I understand how some of what I said upset people and can be misinterpreted. I meant no disrespect to any individual or group." What do you mean, misinterpreted? How many more people will she blame before this is all said and done?
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A list of things that will let you down today. Your alarm clock, C-store coffee, public transportation, the office elevator, the sandwich you packed for lunch, the 5th floor printer, your cell phone battery, the shoelace you swore you double knotted, your hard drive, your backup hard drive, and of course, the weather. Brighten your day with something you can actually count on. GoToMeeting is the easy-to-use collaborative meeting tool that 18 million monthly users trust to help them get work done. To learn more about how you can meet better, visit gotomeeting.com.
The intersection at West 70th Street and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Three past 8, Robert and Erin, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin's got local news in just a couple of You just put your headphones on at the last minute. You got like a big old Dennis the Menace.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Something about Mary?
Miss Erin has local news up next.
What has caused Cyport's problems? We'll be talking more about that. Miss USA coming back to town, and a shakeup in Baton Rouge we'll be talking about, too.
Moon Griffon show is every weekday here, 9 till 11 on KEEL. Is Mr. Moon going to join us at about 10 past?
Moon's joining us at 10
and
past.
State Representative, Democrat guy Gene Reynolds from Minden area, right?
Yeah, big shakeup down there.
Yeah. Is he losing his apartment at the barracks? We'll find out. Plus, let's see, traffic and weather and what?
And are you bothered with allergies?
Not yet, but the clock is ticking. Fletcher in sports, traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What caused Cyport's problems? The chairman speaks out. More on that from Matt Parker.
Cyport's board chairman, Rich Lamb, spoke to the Caddo Commission Monday about the problems the Learning Center faced and how they plan to fix things moving forward. Lamb told the commission that one of the major problems that led to the temporary shutdown was a huge payroll, which Lamb said was in excess of $2 million. Lamb says reopening the center one piece at a time will help prevent the center from getting overextended and give them time to find a responsible way to repay creditors. In the first 8 days after partially reopening, Cyport saw over 1,000 visitors. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport-Bossier will play host to both this year's Miss USA and Miss Teen USA pageants, with Miss USA confirmed for May 21st. It'll be the first time both pageants has ever been held at location back-to-back. The Miss USA will air live on Fox at the Hirsch. Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford says the city is perfect for Miss USA.
This is exactly the family-friendly economic development venue that we encourage and we entice for the Shreveport-Bossier region.
Organizers and participants will be in town 11 days leading up to the 2-hour special on Fox, May 21st. Caddo School Superintendent Dr. Lamar Gorey spoke to the Shreveport chapter of the NAACP. During the meeting, he gave a presentation, and citizens were allowed to ask questions and give suggestions on how to improve performance at our schools. Dr. Gorey says he likes going to public forums because he wants Caddo schools to be open, transparent, and have a good relationship with the public. James Taylor III pleads guilty to killing James Carroll back in 2016. Taylor admitted to shooting Carroll at a Vivian apartment complex after a fight. Taylor pled a second-degree murder charge down to manslaughter. For his crime, Taylor will spend the next 35 years in prison. Drive sober or get pulled over. That's the message from the Shreveport Police Department. SPD planning to conduct a safety checkpoint Saturday night in East Shreveport from 10 p.m. until the wee hours of Sunday morning. Police say they'll be looking for impaired drivers and anyone else who may harm the safety of others on the roads. Rick Avery is in some hot water again. This time, Avery's accused of sexually abusing a woman in D.C. during the Washington Mardi Gras event last month. The Shreveport woman claims that during an argument, Avery pushed her to the floor, sexually assaulted her, and stole her jewelry. The woman contacted police in D.C., but the event was, quote, never papered. She's been granted a protective order against the Bossier Police jury member by a Caddo District Court. A Senate committee hears a constitutional amendment today from New Orleans Democrat J.P. Morrell that will require a jury's verdict.
You know what? We really and see something different. And so they were kind of brainstorming on where they contacted us. They started with them back in the night and said, you know what? I know some people still. Let's go back to Shreveport-Bossier. We had such a wonderful time there, and it went so well that they were excited about coming back. And that was her first pageant as a vice president of the organization, and she is now the president, and said, you know what?
Well, a lot of people are.
You know, we looked at a variety of opportunities. Of course, timing is part of it. When you've got a short timeline, things are already booked in a number of the venues. So we looked at different opportunities. They were very open to it and said, the Mudbugs organization, Encompass Sports, they were very open to it and said, let's take a look at it and really showcase the Hirsch. And so it will be at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum.
How involved were they? How involved were when
in in Baton Rouge in 2015. They applied for the performing arts tax credits with the state of Louisiana. So they have to prove they're in the state of Louisiana, which obviously, so this time they're
10 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound.
So this time they're coming for both Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. So we can expect that spend to be probably $4.5 to $5 million directly from the pageant.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. Breezy and not as warm with a high of 67. Clear with a low of 43 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Clean energy.
Good morning. It's 12 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Don't forget the KEEL app, a free with 3 E's download from Office Furniture Source. Mr. Moon Griffon is heard weekdays here on KEEL.
Did you say Moon Griffon?
Yeah.
Because he is fun.
It's his new name.
Okay.
Is heard here weekdays on KEEL 9 till 11. Hey, Mr. Moon, how are you this morning?
Man, I am a day early.
Well, actually,
it's better than a day late.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yes, you will be the Moon Griffon show this morning from Commercial Power Equipment. And you're ready to go. It's going to be live on the radio this morning at 9. What are the topics of the day? What's eating at you this morning?
Good government spending plans?
Well, first we're going to push small business because I'm sitting here really in a mecca of small business. I got to looking around at all the places that I'm around, and every one of them is a small business. And so we get to talk to Paul about small business and what they do here. No, the biggest thing eating at me, guys, is this constitutional convention that if they pass it, I think I just don't like what's going to end up happening with this. Thank you. Because, and the reason I say that is, if they ever open the Constitutional Convention, the 2/3 tax vote, the 2/3 vote on fees is gone. I think homestead exemption would definitely take a big hit.
Well, don't you think they put good government citizens on this Constitutional Convention, or you think lawmakers would just appoint themselves?
Well, think about it, though. Who's going to understand what's going on except a few people? Number two is the way it's going to probably be set up, you're going to see a lot of elected officials run. And probably because they have the money and name recognition, they'll probably end up being there. Plus, you're going to have the old appointment from the governor and the Speaker of the House, Valerio, and all that kind of stuff. I don't feel real good because I'm telling y'all this is all about getting more taxes. Example, there's already Julie Stokes wants to be able to tax every session. Right now, you can only tax every other session unless you call a special session. So think about this. They've been telling us what, guys? If we can get rid of all these dedicated money, we can cut across the board. You realize they can do that on one bill? They can pass it in the House and Senate, send it to us on a constitutional amendment, and we're going to undedicate every penny. So that way, if we have to cut money, we can do it. Why not do it that way? Why have a constitutional convention? If that's really the problem, folks, the problem is that's not the problem. It's the spending problem. They just making that look like the problem, so we'll call a constitutional convention. I think we are way off base. I will be in the minority, by the way.
Just going to say, we had Stephen Wagasback on last week, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry.
Yep.
And one of his awesome quotes was, and I will repeat it for you, business owners in Louisiana are tired of being told that the state's money problems are because they, meaning the business owners, aren't giving enough of their money to the state. He said it would be a huge risk. Mr. Stephen did. He says he understands the risk, but he thinks things are to such a degree right now that a constitutional convention would be worth rolling the dice. Obviously, you disagree.
I disagree, but did he ever get into how that would help the business community? The only thing the business community, look, I'm talking big business, not at these small companies like the one I'm at now. The big companies have always hated homestead exemption, because they believe if we would lower homestead exemption, that would take money off of them, but it would put it on the back of the citizen. They've always felt like that. And they always felt like the inventory tax, which, by the way, they pay locally, but they get the money back from the state government. They always felt like that needed to be wiped out. What are they willing to negotiate? Mm-hmm. Well, the left wants to be able to vote taxes every year, and the left wants to go back to voting taxes in a majority vote instead of a two-thirds vote. Senator Vitter and a couple other people came in and protected the citizens by using a two-thirds vote. So I want you to think about what I'm saying. I don't understand what Wagasback, well, my deal is, what did he tell y'all about having a constitutional convention will fix anything or any of the problems?
Well, he also made the point, and he underlined this, and I'll make it with you. He also underlined the point that if it were the lawmakers of the state of Louisiana who put together whatever changes and or new constitution, that in fact they would make it worse.
Well, and he's right, but my question to him is, how does he know that won't happen? How does he know that won't happen? Nobody knows, because it does matter, and I think y'all would agree with this. It matters who's there. Am I going to get to go be one of them? Like Erin is.
Me and Moon could fix it in what, 2 weeks?
Well, let me.
Well, you could if it's statutory. It's the statutory dedication and the dedication to the Constitution. One bill, we can undedicate everything. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to take money out of anything. I know the first thing you hear is supplemental pay. Firefighters or policemen or whatever, they're going to be cut. We're not saying you're going to be cut. We're just saying when we run into a bind, we can cut 2% across the board.
But Moon,
2% across the board. Who's going to be hurt with 2% across the board?
Nobody. At the end of the day, isn't the biggest problem in Louisiana that too much power is centered in Baton Rouge? There's too much power in the governor's chair, and that we in Louisiana need to return to a more parish-centric government?
Well, look, I understand that, but is that really what you're going to get? That's the part we don't know. Because once they get down there, are they going to really do that? If they would take the Constitutional Convention and define it, in other words, keep it really small, define what they're going to do, you might be more open to it. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is, it's like that because we set it up that way. Some of the stuff that you said, Robert, is not necessarily true. And you didn't say it because you're wrong. You say it because it's what everybody says. We got a strong governor. Why do we have a strong governor? Well, we have a strong governor not really by the Constitution. It's because lawmakers allocate to the governor. Example, who's the Speaker of the House, who's the Senate President, who's going to be the committee chair, because of our line out on veto. He can veto stuff in areas. So that's why he has the power. We give him the power.
Moon, you are at the Commercial Power Equipment today, 9 o'clock to 11, right?
Yes, ma'am. I am sitting here right now.
On Bert Coons.
Somebody wants to come by and say hi, they can come right now.
You bet. Speaking of power changes, the Democratic caucus has a new leader, Moon, and we're going to be joined by the former Democratic caucus leader, Gene Reynolds. He's coming up next, kind of figure out what's going on behind the cloak and daggers.
Couldn't have phrased.
I did say they were making a change, but I say same old Democrats.
Yeah.
Change one thing of what they do.
I couldn't have phrased that worse myself. Thank you, Mr. Moon. Good show today, and we always appreciate you joining us. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all. God bless.
19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Spring Street and East Stoner Avenue. And we're still looking at some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-two past 8 o'clock, time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU Shreveport lost their NAIA semifinal game 87-80 to Graceland of Iowa and Kansas City last night. The Pilots were seeking their first national championship in men's hoops. Kyle Blankenship's team led by 15 in the first half and 46-34 at the break before an ice-cold shooting performance in the second half doomed them. Benjamin Batt scored 29 points to pace the Pilots. Stevie Clark finished with 22, half of those coming at the free throw line. LSU's basketball season came to a crashing halt Monday with a 95-71 loss at Utah in the second round of the NIT. The Utes fired away at will from beyond the arc, knocking down 14 three-pointers while converting 52% of their shots from the field. The game was never in doubt, with Utah racing to a 21-point lead in the first quarter and a 27-point advantage in the second quarter. The closest LSU got was 15 points in the third. Freshman Tremont Waters led LSU with 19 points. Sophomore Skylar Mays had 16. The Pelicans have a big game tonight at home against the Mavs. Last week, New Orleans was challenging for the 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, but enter tonight as the 7 seed, just a half game ahead of Minnesota for the final playoff spot with 12 games to play in the regular season. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty here to tell you guys about Stone Forks. It's on Kings Highway. Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say the new and improved. Let me underline this because Chris, the new owner at Stone Forks, has made some changes, and as he says, there's a new player in town.
Oh, the ribeye melts in your mouth. Think about it. You barely need a knife to cut it.
You didn't. You just didn't. You should have used a fork. I'm just saying it was messy, but it was
I kind of was
impressive.
like a cave woman. It's absolutely, the food is delicious, from the veggies to the fabulous dessert. What was that? Creme brulee cheesecake, or bananas Foster cheesecake. Oh, you're going to want to try them all.
Stone Forks Fine Dining, they believe, is the perfect combination of great food and service and ambiance and music. And as Erin and I like, let us add liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Forks, new and improved, new ownership on Kings Highway in Shreveport.
Yummy-licious.
Springtime is travel time.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, 25 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Mr. Gene Reynolds, Democratic State Representative from Minden, is here. Hey, Mr. Gene, how are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great. It's a nice morning in Spanish Town here.
Blunt question out of the blocks here. You are no longer the chairman of the state of the Democratic caucus on the House side. The blunt question is, were you too conservative for the governor's
for
liking?
the crowd, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I started in 2016, and this job takes, I don't know if anybody knows what you do. It's free. You don't do it for pay. It's you spend a lot of time. And I spent 7 months negotiating for the budget thing, and so it got to where it was taking all my time before session, after session, before committee, and so it was just I'd already done 5 special sessions and 2 regulars, and so that's more than most chairmanships do. So I just felt like it was time for me to step down and let somebody else have some fun.
The fellow who replaced you has said Louisianans need to be taxed more. And did his stance on the budget crisis and yours, are they at variance? And how is your stance on the same financial situation of the state and the governors? Are those at odds also?
Right. My stance is more toward the middle. I look towards solutions, and if we need to cut here or there, that's fine. If we need to keep a portion of that penny to make ends meet, that's fine. I'm really for a constitutional convention and I think that's the only way we're going to be able to solve the problem. To be able to move our money around, but I'm more of a middle kind of guy, and being a non-chairman now, I can be more independent than I was.
Let me ask you this: was this the governor's decision? Was it House Democrats? Was it Gene Reynolds' decision?
Gene Reynolds, that guy wrote the article at LSUS guy, and he said it was a fable that I was pushed out, and that's just not true. As a matter of fact, I was begged to stay because nobody else really wanted it. So, it's a tough job. So it was my decision to do it for me, for myself, and for my family, and to have more time to do the things down here that I really would like to do. So,
Gene, let me ask you this. Who do we believe with regard to the fiscal cliff? The governor saying it's $900 million. Mm-hmm. Some Republicans saying it's as little as $300.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who I believe anymore.
Well, I listen to the staff down here, the people that are nonpartisan.
And what are they saying?
They're saying around 650, something like that. That's what they're saying right now. If you put put everything there, if we can come up with 650 somehow, some way with cuts or with a little extra on that penny, or leave part of the penny. You're actually cutting. The penny drops off, and so actually all you're doing is just replacing a little bit of the money. So they're telling me around 650. So but now REC was going to meet in May, mm-hmm. and they may recognize more money. Now, if they recognize more money, that number goes down some more, which I hope they do. And so we'll just have to wait and see.
Excuse me, Gene, just one more question. If you have been replaced, if you describe yourself as a guy who believes in the middle ground, and you have been replaced by a guy who believes he's less in the middle, i.e. more of a we need to increase taxes guy, what hope is there for reaching a deal?
Well, the problem is you got the Republicans are split, and be honest, Democrats are split too. And so you've got four factions there kind of competing and doing. So it's going to be tough. And so what we're going to have to do is sit down and people understand that there's going to have to be in the middle there with cutting some things and maybe having part of the sales tax day. That's going to have to happen if we're going to solve this problem. And if we don't, then we're just going to have to bite the bullet and live with our decisions.
Gene Reynolds, thank you for herding cats all this time. We appreciate it, and thanks for joining us. Look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Okay, call me anytime.
You bet.
29 past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Allergies, are you sneezing, coughing, crying? But enough about the state budget. We'll talk that just a little bit later. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we're looking at some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
I mean, there's going to be, you've got, I mean, there's going to be.
This is really the 20th anniversary of its first appearance.
You saw one or two other people, but that literally was.
Sure. And,
Lord.
but also a great place to do business.
What are you hoping that you can get them out to?
We want to showcase our community as not only a great, fun place to visit, but also a great place to do business. So one of the things we hope to do is showcase some of the business opportunities, things like the port, getting them out and about the community, showcase what a great quality of life we have here. And
It was just, I'd already done 5 special sessions and 2 regulars, and so that's more than most chairmanships do. So I just felt like it was just, I'd already done 5 special sessions and 2 regulars, and so that's more than most chairmanships do. So I just felt like it was time for me to step down and let somebody else have some fun. It was just, I'd already done 5 special sessions.
And did wars, are they at variance, and how?
Right. My stance is more toward the middle. I look towards solutions, and if we need to cut here or there, that's fine. If we need to keep a portion of that penny to make ends meet, that's fine. I'm really for a constitutional convention and I think that's the only way we're going to be able to solve the problem. To be able to move our money around, but I'm more of a middle kind of guy. And Gene Reynolds, that guy wrote the article at LSU, pushed out, and that's just not true. As a matter of fact, I was begged to stay because he said it was a fable that I was pushed out, and that's Gene Reynolds. Gene Reynolds, that guy wrote the article at LSU guy, and nobody else really wanted it. So it was my decision to do it for. It was my decision to do it for me, for myself, and for my family, and to have more time to do the things down here that I really would like to do. So,
Gene, let me ask you this: who do we?
It was my decision to do it for me, for myself, and for my family, and to have more time to do the things down here that I really would like to do.
On 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, so here's the deal. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. What is the doctor's name who will join us in a couple of minutes?
Dr. Sammy Bana. He's an allergy and immunological specialist.
So I cannot literally. He's
a green goo guy.
That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
GGG. Is if I
Triple G.
I sleep with a window open until the AC comes on and it's not hot enough yet.
Man.
And when I wake up in the morning, my glasses on the night table, my cell phone are covered in green dust.
I nearly killed myself today. I think it was the green dust I slipped on. Fell on the concrete floor at my house. I nearly was killed, and you guys still have not shown any concern.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, well, you made it in. So you look good in a sling.
I think it was the green goo.
For tomorrow morning, two things.
Yeah.
Hold on, because Matt's answering phone calls. It's probably the good doctor. Because I need to talk.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Two things we need to cover tomorrow morning in more detail.
Mm-hmm.
You are waiting to get some more official information about Cyport and its budget, specifically what the director, Rich Lamb, calls the $2 million annual payroll. Here's the quote. Lamb told the Shreveport City Council, and I guess he told the Caddo Commission.
Yeah.
Lamb said the museum, meaning Cyport, operated with a payroll exceeding $2 million in many years. That's a whole hell of a lot of money. You have made requests and you've put feelers out trying to find out from people what are the exact numbers for specific.
You bet.
Specific Cyport hires up or higher ups, because they're all at this point mothers-in-law.
Yeah.
The other point is, and this is something we need to cover in more detail in our extended segments. And it's Matt, because Matt's really sort of pissed off about this, and I am in the Matt chair, so to speak, on this. And the people who are responding negatively to Shreveport landing the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA pageant. What? Hirsch Coliseum? George, that place, what the hell? That's got to take Kevlar. You need damn Kevlar. Have any of you wieners who are making, and I squeaked on that too.
You did.
Have any of you
a little wiener squeak?
Have any of you Wienersons who are complaining about Hirsch Coliseum? Have any of you ever been to a hockey game there? I would venture no, because if you have you been to any event there in the last 2 or a couple of years? Because if you had, you would realize that the claims, that the objections that you have are totally groundless.
Yeah. You got to go and try it.
This is an opportunity for Shreveport. We sitting here.
Please don't poo-poo on this.
This
really?
is a chance
Stop.
for us to present ourselves to a lot of really important people. And I don't just a national TV audience, Fox Television Network, but more specifically, all of the corporate people who associate themselves with Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, who are always looking for good places to expand their businesses and leave their money.
Yeah.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we're looking at some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
We're just not going to introduce this guy
No, we are. He's the green goo guy.
as a green dust
Oh, we
expert.
can't do that? Okay.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Dr. Sammy Bana.
He's going to hang up on us.
Allergist expert. Hey, Dr. Sammy, how are you this morning?
Morning.
It's everywhere. It has not affected me yet, but the clock is ticking. Is this, as far as people's allergies across the Arklatex, is this, because it's still early, man, today's the first day of spring, is it better, worse, or about average for folks who suffer?
I think it's starting to be severe. As you mentioned, the season started early. The weather has been not helpful. It's becoming warm, and with our humidity in the south, the pollination is starting early and in large quantities. The trees are already blooming, and very soon, the grass as well. So we, unfortunately, are going to face a heavy allergy season this year.
How about you? Are you one of those people that how are you feeling right now? And if you are one of those who is coughing and wheezing and crying and has to sleep already with the windows closed, what do you do? What do you take?
Well, first, as you mentioned, that the windows are closed, so we have to avoid that. The windows of the cars while we are driving, to do that. Many of us have eye symptoms as well. It is good to put sunglasses because in addition to the pollens, the sun itself will bother our allergic eyes. So we have to take medications regularly if we were not taking them already. And so there are antihistamines, a variety of them that are not sedating, that can be taken usually just once a day. And many patients will need nasal sprays to reduce the inflammation in the nose and sinuses. So this can be done once and sometimes twice a day, in the morning and at bedtime. If there is a lot of mucus in the nose, it has to be washed out before applying the nasal spray so that the medication can be very effective. In addition to the nose and the eyes, some people's eyes, the allergy, are real bad. And they need also specific selected eye drops for that. That's prescribed by the physician.
If I go to the drugstore and I'm wanting to pick up something, where do you direct? What do you direct me to look for? What needs to be in the ingredient list that's going to really help me?
I will direct you first to the allergist to be well evaluated, appropriately diagnosed, and prescribing the best for you. For example, if the person is sneezing, first we have to differentiate between allergy and common colds. Manifestations appear to be similar, but it are really two different diseases. So if there's a lot of sneezing in an allergy person, antihistamines will be the best.
How much longer, pardon me, how much longer is this season going to last? We're started early, obviously. Is it going to be a lengthier season, allergy season than normal? And there's different kinds in this area too, right?
Yes, it will be longer. This has been documented in numerous regions of the United States, as well as in other countries. The season is earlier, become longer. The production of pollens is increasing in quantity as well. Because by prolonged season, there is more pollination. And more plants are growing. The carbon dioxide that's coming out from the factories or the cars also enhances this process, unfortunately.
What do I do around my house? Do I need to dust more often? Are there some tips around the house?
And change the sheets too more often.
You bet, right?
House dust mite is the most common indoor allergens everywhere in the world, followed by mold and animal dander. So, and many people are allergic to both indoor and outdoor allergens. So, better, you cannot do much about the outside allergens, but inside the allergens, it can be frequent vacuuming and
change the filters, right?
Wearing a mask, and there'll be twice a week vacuuming, and reduce the cluttering around, particularly stuffed animals and the things that collect house dust mite in them.
Doc, I can't thank you enough for your time. I might be seeing you soon because it's getting crazy.
And take off the mask first. Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate your time as always. 849, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we're looking at some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Breezy and not as warm today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high about 67. Clear with a low of 43 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The KEEL app is the best way to listen to our station. The KEEL app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. Listen each day to 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, or on the KEEL app. KEEL.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
The Miss USA pageant will be held in Shreveport, Louisiana for the first time ever.
And already all of the negative Nancys are out in force, talking about our crime, talking about every problem that our community has. But look, every community does have problems, but we can't keep talking to ourselves here in Shreveport this way. This stinking thinking has to stop. All it does is make you feel defeated, discouraged, and depressed. Haven't you ever heard that you are what you think about?
Instead of looking at what's wrong and trying to fix it, we should look at what's going right and see if we can do more of that. Hosting a major event like this in Shreveport is something that's right, and we should do more of it.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty here for Twin City Appliance. Let me start here. And see, I had this idea what I was going to say, but then when I say it, it will not be as flattering to the folks at Twin City Appliance as I had hoped.
Okay.
Because what I was going to say was, wow, I wish I were smart enough to be a tech person, a repair person for Twin City Appliance. But then you stop and think that my IQ is about
81.
Okay, let me rephrase then.
Dull.
Wow, Erin McCarty wishes with an IQ of
128.
Erin McCarty wishes she were smart enough to be a repair person, a tech person at Twin City Appliance.
Yep, the techs, they provide the factory warranty repair. They're factory trained, authorized to service all major brands, from your high dollar gadgets to the one you got secondhand from Grandma.
Mensa. They are Mensa members.
You bet.
I don't know what that is, but they're that.
If you need an appliance fixed from your microwave to your washer, your dryer, maybe the ice maker in your freezer, Twin City Appliance can fix it. Give them a call today, 318-688-0253, or check them out online, twincityappliance.com.
The reviews are in. Stone Forks Restaurant is rated 5 stars. Hear what others have to say.
As a 57-year-old steak lover, I can tell you Stone Forks has by far the best, most perfectly cooked steak I have ever tasted. Could cut it with a fork.
The food, wine, and service were off the charts.
It's one of the best burgers this side of the Mississippi.
Don't take their word for it. Experience it yourself. 5-star food, service, and atmosphere. Open for brunch, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Now under new ownership. Stone Forks Restaurant, East Kings Highway, Shreveport.
Spearfishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearfishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearfishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
Need new windows and doors for your home? Sure, someone working out of the back of their truck can always offer you a cheaper price. Sometimes they're kind of hard to find after the job is done.
The person you are trying to reach right now is unavailable. Please leave.
So that's your bargain? Not. Remember, All Seasons Window and Door has been there for you for over 37 years, offering quality replacement windows and doors manufactured in their facility locally. Dependable, reasonable. All Seasons Window and Door. Call for your customized quote, 318-963-1282. All Seasons Window and Door, 318-963-1282.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car, you're going to want to know your credit score. If there's a mistake on your credit report, you could pay more in interest rates and fees than you have to. Where can you go online to quickly get your credit score and credit report for free? CreditKarma.com/radio. Check it whenever you like. It's free and there's no catch. Don't get an unwanted surprise about your credit score. Go to CreditKarma.com/radio. That's CreditKarma.com/radio.
Just about 30 seconds, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Easter is less than 2 weeks away.
We are collecting stuff for Easter baskets to go out to Providence House, Project Celebration, and other local children who might not have an Easter without your help.
What is Easter without a sugar rush for a child?
Absolutely. We need some baskets. We need the candy. I've got all the grass I need. I got that from my son while I was in North Carolina. That sounded odd. I didn't
No, it
get
sounded,
grass from my son.
Sounded awesome. Sounded great.
We need you to drop off the Easter stuff. We're going to be packing up the baskets a week from today. So drop them off here at the radio station on Westport Avenue, Monday through Friday between 8 and 5. We need everything you and your group can donate.
Except grass.
Yeah, we got all the grass we need.
That's what she says. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert and Erin. Here's Kim Commando on KEEL.
Don't underestimate the trouble that Facebook is in right now. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update. Facebook is at a crossroads. Its survival rate as the king of social media is for the first time in question, but its management doesn't quite get it. There's nothing really new about how the political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica collected and used data on Facebook users. This is the way it's been at Facebook since the beginning. For years, CEO Mark Zuckerberg has been promising to fix Facebook. Yet phony news and conspiracy videos continue unabated. Daily usage is way down. Its top executives dodge Congress about Russian interference. And behind the scenes, these same top executives are selling their Facebook stock at a record clip. There's even a trending hashtag, delete Facebook. This would be a very good time for Facebook's board of directors to recall the collapse of MySpace and to remember what happened to Nokia and BlackBerry, whose management was once just as arrogant as Facebook's is right now. I'm Kim Commando. Let me tell you why I've long been a fan of Epson, and why you will be too when you experience the economical Epson EcoTank 4750 wireless all-in-one printer. Say goodbye to your old, slow, expensive printer and move up to my printer of choice. The incredible EcoTank 4750 comes with enough ink, right out of the box, to print up to 11,000 color pages. That's the equivalent to 30 ink cartridge sets, and up to 2 years of printing. The 4750 is truly wireless. Print from any iPad, iPhone, Android, tablet, smartphone, or through your own Wi-Fi network. And this Epson holds 250 sheets in the paper tray. When it's finally time for ink, you easily refill the printer's ink tanks in seconds. The 4750 is truly cartridge-free printing. Epson's EcoTank 4750 wireless all-in-one printer is available everywhere. Cartridge-free printing with the Epson EcoTank, the smart choice. More information at epson.com/EcoTankKim.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of Olive Street and Line Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
8:59, here's your KEELAccuWeather.com forecast. It's going to be another nice day today. Sunny, but not as warm. High today, middle to upper 60s. Right now, 56 degrees at KEEL. It's 9 o'clock. Here's Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.